For the smaller models, it's not a huge deal because being bonded to the filler material on the base it's not gonna rip off. I just broke that one. Okay, 3 hours of sleep, same shirt as yesterday. That's just how it is sometimes. I've got baby, they're not babies anymore, they're 1 year old, they're still babies. Twins that decided they were gonna scream all last night. So I got a bunch of errands I have to do today, but before I do them, I'm gonna try to fix the mold for the toad and cast it like while I'm running around doing all that stuff. And then hopefully when I come back home, I have a fixed, fully footed toad boy. I was trying to think through this problem because after thinking about it, I initially poking holes and making vents wouldn't work. So I was looking at these ones that I actually got from Trent, and you can see I cleaned the bottom of these up a little bit, but the feet were just open to the air, right? So there wasn't a chance for it to get trapped in. And this is the other one that I got. He's missing a toe. But you can see the same thing, right? Like this was opened. So I'm just gonna cut, like if you look here, I'm just gonna cut this part off so the toes are just totally open. Fresh X-Acto blade. This is now the 3rd blade of the channel. Doing those goblins was brutal. Just one more tip while I was doing this. If you don't know, silicone's super hard to cut if you don't stretch it. But if you stretch it out like this and then just touch the blade to it, it pretty much cuts itself. All right, so this is where we're at now. I filled the feet up nicely. I've been tapping it and just banging the table a little bit. You can see the air bubbles are coming out to the top. I'm okay with a little bit of air bubbles at the very bottom of it. Okay, I just got back from running errands and I'm sitting in my driveway. I'm not actually driving. And the whole time I'm thinking of driving and I'm driving around and I'm like, I need to buy sculpting tools. I need to like research what the best material is to learn how to sculpting. I need to find like a bunch of videos to watch. And like, Matthew, have you learned nothing from the error of your ways when it came to the miniature painting hobby? I'm not gonna look anything up beyond what I've already looked up. I'm not gonna buy any tools. I'm not gonna buy any materials. I already have milliput. I already have green stuff. My milliput is probably like 20 years old at this point, but who cares? We're gonna make it work. I have isopropyl alcohol. I have everything that I need to get started sculpting, and nothing's gonna be better for me than just sculpting. And it's just crazy that like there's this new thing I want to do, and my gut reaction is to go spend time researching it instead of doing it, and to go buy for it instead of actually doing it. And really, this is day 31. This is the 1 month for all of you guys that are watching videos. And I've learned that like my participation in something is not consuming it, it is doing it. So I'm gonna jump right in. I also want to learn digital sculpting. And I have all this stuff to do that too. So I don't need to buy anything for digital sculpting. I might have to buy a program, but I think that's a little bit different. But I just wanted to get that car driving thought out now because I think it's a good one. Hopefully you do too. All right, we're back home. This is how the mold looks. We got a big old bubble. I guess that's good it's there and not in the figure. Toesies are definitely covered in. Let's pop them out. Look at that. Look at that beautiful little cutie. Okay, so the peachy colored one is the original. The white one is the one I did. I need to do a little bit more cleanup, but like we're in there. I think we got it.
I'm testing the live stream setup. I can't live stream today, but I just wanted to do a dry run. I just stole my design from Magic 3. I thought it'd be cool. This black box below me will hopefully start a chat one day. So just testing things out, testing the airbrush area setup. I'm a little bit worried about the sound. I have a pretty good mic, but I think it's picking up too much of the exhaust fan. So gonna have to figure that out. This video, I'm gonna start with the priming and just kind of test things out. Pro Acryl Black, this has become my favorite primer. Okay, I like it. Oh, great, I'm not where you can see me doing anything. Okay, I like this. So I get, a lot of people say that this is just like your priming brush. This thing chucks a lot of paint out in a good way. There's a lot, I'm barely pulling back on the trigger. So I'm assuming it's probably hard to do detail work with it. We should prime this guy. This guy's been sitting our conversion. We'll go ahead and prime him. And so this is part of the thing I was thinking about of always having something to paint. And since this is going to be an army painting project for the orcs, if I only have a few minutes a day to paint and I can't like dig into the army, or if eventually the army will be at a point where if I just have 15 minutes, I can work on the army and make progress on it. But in the beginning, it's going to be a lot of batch painting. So if I find myself in a situation where I can paint, but only got like 2 or 3 minutes, this is going to be the guy that I'm working on. That's not a good sign. But what's great, like, see, I just broke that one. This is not good. I'm going to have to address that. But back to what I was saying about the goblins, I didn't put their shields on because I'm going to sculpt my own shields. I've decided I'll probably do it digitally and then print them. Once I have the file, like I'll make it an STL file, I'll use the shields to learn digital sculpting or get started with digital sculpting. And I will release that for free just for everybody to have and do whatever they want to do with it. But I think that'll be a good, like, simple first project to just like learn the basics. And I'm probably going to use Nomad Sculpt on the iPad because that way I can work on it like while I'm just on the couch hanging out with the kids and in the evenings or like before bedtime or something. The bases, I for sure must have let them sit too long before attaching the figure, and the super glue didn't penetrate down to the plastic, which is just my fault. I should have known better. I gotta stop. I gotta figure out a way to fix all this.
Okay, pretty big oversight, silly mistake. I didn't glue the figures directly to the base. I glued them on top of the basing material. And with this type of basing material, I should have sealed this down. Really, I should have glued the figures to the base and then put the basing material around them. But now, I'm gonna hope that if I mix, I'm gonna go like 50-50. This is Elmer's glue and water. This is 70% isopropyl alcohol. Maybe 75-25. I'll probably do 75-25. That I can get enough to seep in. It'll, like these ones that the figures already broke off of will be fine. But I'm hoping that on all of these damn goblins, with that much isopropyl alcohol in it, it'll seep into the mixture and cure it all together. But otherwise, I'm gonna have to bust them all off, and I just really don't want to. All right, testing here. Oh, I didn't shake it up enough. Look, pretty terrible for a little bit. I'm gonna do a couple of tests on these guys just to see if my idea is gonna work, if it's seeping up underneath the feet, and we'll see. So gonna see how these orcs go. This should theoretically like really lock it in and we'll be good, and it doesn't take very long. But I don't know, just a little bit silly, got way ahead of myself before. Such a common silly mistake to make, but that's okay. Like I said, it seems like a huge setback and I'm like whining about it, but really worst case scenario, it just adds another hour to the project and I'm already at 20 hours of mold lines. So making these bases indestructible, really in the scale of things isn't that big of a deal. This is something I'll still be able to do today. I'll still be able to get everybody primed. I still cast a toad. Like, this is still a great day. It's okay. I should have flipped the camera around to look at me instead of just shaking it at the orcs though.